All right, hello and welcome to our FitEssentials Basics class. My name is Shauna. If you're using the blood flow bands, we've just added air, so you can go ahead and do that now. And then when you're ready, we're going to start seated today with a little bit of breathing and stretching. So as you come to seated, make sure you sit up. You can come right to the edge of your chair, sitting right up on those sit bones. And we're going to do our seated cat-cow to get some good movement and get some good airflow. So as you breathe out, roll your shoulders forward, pull your belly in towards the spine and bow your head down. And then as you breathe in, slide the hands up your legs, squeeze those shoulders back, lift the head and neck. Good. Twice more, bowing down, breathing out. Sitting tall, breathing in. Broad chest, shoulders back. Good. One last time, breathing out, roll those shoulders forward, tuck that chin into the chest. And then breathe in, sitting tall, slide the hands up the thighs. Very good. From here, pull your feet in. We're going to pick up one leg, squeeze those shoulders back, and we're going into our ankle rolls. Rolling the ankle around between 5 and 10 times. Try to keep the shoulders down out of the ears. And when you're ready, roll that ankle the other way. It's a good activation for that mid back as well. Waking up those muscles that hold those shoulders back in a good position. From there, set that leg down. Same thing, other side. Pick it on up. Squeeze those shoulders back. And normal to hear some clicks and pops in the ankle. I don't know if you can hear, but we're having some strong winds here in Palisade today. If you didn't change directions, roll that ankle the other way. And then place it down from there. Very good. Last thing we're going to do before we come up to standing is our windshield wipers with our legs. So I'm going to walk my feet a little bit wider than I normally would sit. I'm going to come up on the balls of my feet, and then I'm going to bring my legs to one side, up and across to that other side. Welcome, Laura. Over and back. It's very subtle here, but just gives a little bit of movement through the hips. Over and back. Good. Laura, if you can, we'd love to have your camera on. If it doesn't work, no problem. And then when you finish those windshield wipers, go ahead and pull yourself up to standing, clear your space. We're getting ready for some monster walks and a little bit of balance work. All right, so as everyone's getting set, as you come up to standing, before we jump right in, we'll go ahead and circle through those hips 3 to 5 times. There you go, Laura, I see you now. Yep, on and off, huh? And then roll those hips the other way. It's all right, just do what you can. All right, and then from here, we're going to be doing a forward and backwards monster walk first. So place those feet nice and wide, draw your stomach in, come down just like a little quarter squat. And then you're going to have a nice wide base, stepping from the heel of your foot and rolling towards that big toe. Yep, arms stay wide. Eyes stay up. When you go backwards, you can stand tall or stay low. If you don't feel confident to step backwards, then just turn around and walk it forwards. Otherwise, we're going to do it one more time. Little crouch position, draw the belly in, and then we go back to that forward position. Surely have your arms nice and wide. So instead of hands on the hips, reach the arms out, kind of help with that balance. There you go. Eyes up, looking forward. Nice. Yep. Wide base stance. Squeeze those shoulders back. Wonderful. Couple more steps here. 10 seconds left. Good. And 3, 2, 1, and shake it out. Rest those arms down. And then some just side to side tree branch arms. We're going to take about a minute to do a little bit of stretching. And then we're going to not repeat the exact same style of walk, but we're going to be going back that monster walk. Sorry, we're not going to do the monster walk the next time. We're going to be doing a side step. If you want to do the monster walk with the side step, you can. But otherwise, staying nice and tall. From there, let's do our little side stretch. One hand reaches up while the other hand reaches under. Over and up, nice and smooth. But if you feel comfortable to do so, peer up with that hand as it reaches up to overhead. Opposite hands reaching towards the opposite thigh. Maybe one more time each direction. And rest. All right, starting our second minute of the walk. So belly nice and tall. We're gonna work our side steps this time. So I step my feet in, cross the hands over, step the feet out, step the arms, open the arms wide. Depending upon your space, 3 to 5 steps, and then take it back the other way. So I'm standing tall here. If I want to make it a little bit more challenging, then I'll do that same idea of like a little quarter squat and then step from there. So it's like I hold a little mini squat with the body, open and close. Good. Open, close. Keep drawing this belly in towards that spine, keeping those eyes up. Fantastic. 20 seconds left. Open, squeeze those shoulders back as you open those arms. Spread the hands wide from the thumb to that little finger. There you go. Good. Open up through those hands. We tend to get everything all closed down. And 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Stand it up. Next, we're going to open up through our hip flexors. So you can start with the hands on the hips. Let's take your left leg. Take a moderate to long step back, and then go ahead and rest that heel down on the floor. From here, take your hands from your hips up to your shoulders. And we're going to open up that hip. So I'm going to rock the hips back, push that back hip forward, try to squeeze the glute, and then turn your body towards your right side or your front leg. Turning the head and neck, looking over that shoulder, back to neutral. Rest the arms down for a second. So I still have them crossed. I'm going to push my hips back. Rock those hips forward, raise those arms up, eyes up, and then turn towards that front leg. Breathing about 2 to 3 times and release from there. Great job. Walk it out. Same thing, opposite side. So standing tall, moderate step back, rocking back onto that heel. Make sure that front shin is nice and vertical. Crossing those arms over the shoulders. I start by pushing the hips back, and then I raise up through those hips. I rock those hips forward, and now you should be turning towards your left leg or that front leg. Show you from the front. Turn the body, turn the head and neck. Good. Unwind. Rest those arms down at the chest. Hips back, hips forward. Lifting up, squeeze that glute, and then turn that torso. Eyes up. Breathing. And release from there. Fantastic. Shaking it out. All right. Last little bit of footwork. I'm going to give you a little bit of a challenge here if you feel comfortable for it. So we're going to practice a crossover. With the arms wide, I'm going to step my front foot in front of the other one, and then I step it out. I'm going to stick with that same leg, only crossing in the front. Cross it over, step it wide, maybe 3 times on that side. Cross it over, step it wide, and then I'm going to take it back. I can rest my arms down, spread the arms wide, foot crosses in front of the other leg, and open up. Good. It's like an introduction to that grapevine that maybe you've done before. If anybody's comfortable with that grapevine, you can do that instead. Otherwise, we're just working those mechanics. After about 3 to 5 steps the other way, take a pause, and then we're going to do it one more time. So I spread my arms wide to help with that balance, stepping one foot in front, stepping out. I realize you lose my feet when I do that. Cross in front and open. Nice. After 3 times one way, taking it back, over and out, over and open. Good job. Nice and patient here. After you take it back that second time, shake it out and take a rest. Nice job. All right, the water is nearby. Go ahead and grab a drink. We're going to get ready for a little bit of weightlifting next. So if you want to have a light to moderate weight nearby, we're going to do another stretch for that low back with a little toe touch stretch. And then we're going to start to do a little bit of lifting. All right, so for the toe touch stretch, I'm going to walk my feet in. I want all 10 toes pointing forward. And then I want to check in with my midsection and my pelvis. It's really common to kind of have those hips drop forward. So pull the belly in, rock those hips back so that your shoulders are stacked right over top of your hips. And now hands on the thighs, chin to the chest, Slight bend in the knees as I bow down, sliding the hands down to those ankles. A couple of breaths into the back. Don't force it. Maybe you don't quite reach your ankles. That's okay. And then when you're ready, bring the hands back up the legs, back up to standing. Super. All righty, we're going to do a little bit different variation. Step your feet just a little bit wider. Toes are still pointing forward. Still want my midsection to be long or strong. And now I'm going to do that I Dream a Genie Arm Cross. From here, we're going to practice that long spine position. So as you send your hips back, raise those arms up. Keep that spine nice and flat. Wonderful. And then push through the feet, squeeze the glutes. You can rest those arms down on your chest as you stand tall. There you go. Good, Shirley. Breathing in, keeping that soft bend in the knees between 3 and 5 times here. Practicing that. Those hips back, up, and pause. Good. 1 or 2 more. Breathing in, sending the hips back. Breathing out as you stand. Wonderful. All right. When you're ready, go ahead and pick up your light to moderate weights. We're going to hold it right between the legs. And then I'm going to walk my feet out. So my feet are about hip width or just outside the hips. Squeezing those shoulders back. And that same thing that we just practiced with the belly. Drawing the belly in, rocking the hips back. From here, with just a baby bend in the knees, so a soft bend in the knees, I'm going to do that same thing we just practiced. Push the hips back, but now I'm lowering that weight down right between the legs. Squeeze the glutes as I stand tall, and that's our motion. Bowing forward or hinging at your hips, and then squeeze the tush as you stand tall. There you go. Breathing in as you control down, breathing out as you stand all the way up. Wonderful. Good. Halfway through, breathing in, slowly lower. Try to feel those hamstrings on the back of the body. So as I push my hips back, I feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of my thighs. I'm holding my belly in throughout that movement. Yep, and then Shirley, just straighten out those elbows. So keep your arms nice and straight. There you go. Squeeze those shoulders back. That's better. Wonderful. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Long spine, controlling down. Push through those legs, squeeze those glutes, standing tall. Beautiful. And take a rest. All right, meet me in the chair. If you know the standing cross crawl with the knee to elbow, you can do it standing, but I'd like to warm this group up from the chair. Sitting right on the edge of your seat, making sure your feet are firmly planted. Draw that stomach in. We're going to start, if you want to mirror me, it would be your left arm, bringing that elbow up to 90 degrees, drawing that elbow back. And then when you're ready, bringing that leg of the opposite side up and drawing that arm across, seeing if you can make contact or come as close as you can, breathing out as you draw that elbow towards that knee, breathing in as you open. Good. 10 more seconds here. We're going to go 30 seconds on each side. So it's normal to kind of sit back onto your hips a little bit more as you lift that knee up, draw that belly in. Last time, and pause. Good job. Same thing other side. Elbow up, elbow back, and 2, 1. Here we go. Belly in, up and across. Breathing in, breathing out as you come elbow towards that opposite knee. Excellent. And just watch that arm position. You want to try to keep that shoulder down out of the ear. And also, good opening for the chest as I draw that elbow back. Open the chest and then close it down. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. All right, we're going to work our sit and stand next, or a regular squat, but I'm going to show it from the sit and stand first. So set those feet about hip width apart. Reach those arms straight out in front of your body. And then when you're ready, pull yourself up to standing. And then as you lower back down, reach those arms out. Just lightly touch your seat. Good. We got a minute here. Breathing in, reach those arms out as you lower down. Breathing out, standing tall. There it is. So Shirley at the top here, rest the arms down for a second. There you go. Good. And now as you sit back, reach the arms out. There you go. Wonderful. Good. Breathing out, squeeze the tush, pull yourself up. Awesome. Breathing in, sitting back. And sometimes if you need to use the hands on your legs to help you up, that's okay too. If you can do it without the hands on the legs, just reach the arms in front of the body. Beautiful. So as I go to stand, I reach forward, pull myself up, reach out, and I'm focused on my feet and my knees here as well. So I want to push my feet into the ground as I pull myself up, sitting back into my heels as I sit on back. Wonderful. Last time, up, and then stay standing when you get there. Great job. If you have a water glass nearby, go ahead and grab a short drink. And then we're going to work a little bicep curl next. So you can work with a dumbbell, okay, or a band, your choice. I'm going to show it with the band. With a nice long band, I'm going to stand on it. If I had dumbbells in each hand, I would just hold the dumbbells in my hand. I'll show that next round. Belly draws in. I keep my elbows to the side. And then when you're ready, we're going to work those biceps, curling the arms in. Palms should be facing forward. And then fully extend. Curl and extend. Nice. All those other things that we focus on. So I see myself here starting to go a little bit in that sway back posture. So I want to think about engaging that midline. Squeeze the tush, bend, and extend. Good. Getting a little burn in those arms. Open, flex, and extend. Up and down. Couple more. There you go. Open and curl. Open and curl. Good. If you just got started on those because you're getting some weights, maybe do about 5 more reps, and then we're going to take a short rest. Nice. Those of you that are all done with that, let's revisit those hip circles. That's the end of set 1. We're going to go back to the top, working those deadlifts again of set 2. Good, Shirley, go ahead and take a pause there. And then we're going to go back to our weights for those deadlifts. We're going to loosen up those hips a little bit. I decide. Wonderful. All right. And then if you want to get a little bit heavier with your weights, but you only have so much to hold, you can always hold one in each hand. Okay. I'm going to show it with the feet a little bit closer this time. So I'm going to draw the belly in. I'm going to hold the weights on the side of my body, maintain that soft bend the knees with the shoulders drawn back. Now I'm going to push my hips back. Here we go. Long spine. I send my hips back. I keep those weights close to my body, lowering them down right beside the legs or right between the legs if you go with that other version we did last round. And then as I stand tall, make sure you don't get lazy here. So lift up tall, squeeze the tush, breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you push through the feet and stand all the way up. Wonderful. Find your rhythm. Straight elbows, lowering down. Very good. And then once you know that motion, try to square up your head and neck. Chin in, looking towards my feet as I bow forward. And then eyes up, looking ahead as I stand tall. 1 or 2 more. Over and up. Nice. Squeeze those shoulders back as you stand all the way up. Final time. Bowing down. And squeeze those shoulders back as you stand tall. Fantastic. All right, go ahead and set the weights down. I'm going to keep you up on your feet this time for our cross crawl. We're going to do a little bit different variation. So last time we did that elbow to the knee. This time we're going to work our march and punch. So have those toes pointing forward, draw the belly in. And then when you're ready, you're going to punch across the body as you raise the leg up of that opposite leg. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Breathe out with that punch. Breathe in as you come back to your standing position. Wonderful. So lift up, eyes up. Solid. Yep. Moving with control or moving a little bit faster as you feel. 10 seconds left. Whew. And 3, 2, 1, and take a rest. All right, we're gonna work our squatting and then we're gonna let the air out, those of you that are wearing the bands. So for that squat, I'm gonna do it without the chair this time. If you feel best squatting to the chair, then stick with that. Feet about hip width apart, draw that stomach in. And now as I lower back, I'm gonna reach my arms out, push my knees wide, sending my hips back and then pull myself up. Good. And this differs from that deadlift in that I don't want to bow forward. I want to keep that chest up. Wonderful. Looking forward, finding a spot to focus on. Still keeping my full foot in contact with the ground. Knees pushing wide, making that space for the hips to lower down. Breathing in as you lower, breathe out as you drive into your feet and come all the way up. Awesome job. Breathing in, sitting back. Breathing out, drive through your legs. Good job. One or two more. Breathing in, sitting back. Breathing out all the way up. Beautiful. My final one. Down, up, and rest. Good job. So as I mentioned, if you are wearing the bands, take the air out. Push those little nozzles, release some of the air. I did the same thing for the arms. And then we're going to go back to the dumbbells for our bicep curl. So toes forward, belly in, draw those elbows to the side with a nice soft bend in the knees. We'll go ahead and curl those weights. So if you want to join me here, I'm going to take the bands off my legs after we finish this circuit. But for right now, I'm just going to keep them on and finish out these exercises. Squeeze that backside, elbows in towards the sides. Flex those biceps, palms in, and then all the way out. Wonderful. Breathe. Good. We do quite a bit for our triceps here when we're pressing up to overhead. Anytime we're holding that plank position, we work the back of the arms a little bit more than the front of the arms. So these bicep curls are great to keep our upper body balanced as well. Good. One or two more. Woo. And take a pause when you finish. Nice work. All right, friends, we're going to go through it one more time. Just taking these off. So we'll be back with our deadlifts. If you have any heavier weights that you feel comfortable to use, now that you're not using the bands, you can challenge yourself a little bit more with a little bit heavier weights. If you don't have that option, no problem. Just do the best you can. So I'm going to continue to demo with the weights on each side of the legs. We'll start here in about 10 seconds. So toes pointing forward, draw the belly in, soft bend in those knees. And then when you're ready, we're going to practice that long spine position, sending the hips back, bowing down, and then standing strong. It's really easy to get rounded in those shoulders. So try to pin those shoulders back. Long spine, bowing down, squeeze the tush and stand. Good. Over and up, over and standing tall. Good. We're going to take about another 30 seconds here. Always listen to your body. Down and stand. Wonderful. 15 seconds left. Try not to let those shoulders roll forward as you bow down. So I'm really pinning those shoulders back, bowing down, standing all the way up. One or two more. Breathing in as you lower, breathing out, and taking that rest. Great job. We're back to that cross crawl practice. If you like that march and punch, you can work that pattern. Okay, alternating knee to elbow is also an option, but I'm going to demo that march and punch again. So draw those shoulders back, bringing those hands to the sides. And then when you're ready, breathing out with the punch. Keep those hands high by your shoulders. Eyes should be looking right over top of the arms. And then strong breathing here. Nice strong exhale with that punch. Good. There you go. Nice. Good. 15 seconds left. Keep it breathing. Raise that opposite leg. Try to flex the foot as well, lifting the foot and toes. Good. And 2, 1, and take that rest. All right, we've got our last bit of squatting. So different options here. You can squat to the chair, squat to a bench. If you feel like you want to add some weight, go ahead and pick a weight up now. I'm going to set those feet about hip width apart. Make sure my midline is engaged. I'm going to be holding this weight right underneath my chin. And then from here, I can either sit back to my chair or I can squat without that chair, sending my hips back, pushing through the feet, standing all the way up. Good. Try to push your elbows up and forward. Those of you that are holding weights with me. Nice, Shirley. And then eyes up as you send your hips back. So it differs from that deadlift. We certainly have some hinge at the hips, but more flexion in the knees. So those knees are bending. The knees are pushing wide, and we want the torso to stay upright. So try to find that spot that you can focus on, looking forward, eyes up. Ah, awesome. 20 seconds left. Breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you stand. And try to stand all the way up. Squeeze the tush. 1 or 2 more. Eyes up, hips back. Doing great. And 2, 1, and all done there. Good stuff. All right, bicep curl. So picking up a same, or if you have a little bit lighter weight, whatever's most appropriate for you. Walk those feet in, turn the toes forward. So they're pointing forward. Guess my socks maybe are a little bit too matched to my mat here. Hard to see my feet. Elbows to the sides, palms forward. When you're ready, squeeze the tush and curl those arms in, bringing the weights towards your shoulders and then fully extend. I try to make it so that it's easier to see my feet, but today was not that result. All the way open through those elbows, curl it up and in. Squeeze that tush. Try to flex those thighs a little bit. Wonderful. Final time. Curl it in. Extend those elbows out and take a rest. Awesome job. Let's grab a drink and then meet me in the chair. Alrighty, 1 second, I'm gonna grab my long sleeve. It's kind of chilly today. All right, if you were wearing bands, if you want to take them off all the way, you can go ahead and take them off now. Sometimes it's a little bit tough to do some seated stretches with those bands on. All right, so as I come to seated, I sit up nice and tall, and we're gonna open up through the hips a little bit. So pick a leg you want to start on, lift that leg up, interlace the hands in front of the shin, and we're going into our seated glute stretch. So I'm going to cross that foot over, reposition the hands on the outer aspects of the knee, and then when you're ready, hug that leg in, draw those shoulders back and down, and the whole purpose here is to get a nice opening for the outer hip, but it also serves as a nice opening for the chest and a strengthening through that mid-back. Take about 3 more nice deep breaths. See if you can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. A couple more. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and set that leg down. Same thing, opposite side. Sitting tall. Interlace those hands. Work to cross that foot over. And now it's really key here. You need to reposition the hand. So it's kind of like on the outer aspect of your knee. And now as I sit tall, I pull that leg over. So I squeeze those shoulders back, sit as tall as I can. And then we'll take about 5 nice deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good, couple more. And rest. Good job. Uncross those legs. Let's give the lower body a break and let's open that upper body a little bit more. So take a hand, raise that arm straight up towards the ceiling or sky if you get to be outside today, and then watch that tendency to lean back. So draw the ribs down as you bend that arm, like I'm trying to scratch my back. And then with the chin drawn in, I'm going to reach the other arm up and then draw that elbow back. Sit as tall as you can as you breathe here. Similar to our squats, keep your eyes up, looking forward. You want to add a little bit of a bend in the torso. I can lean away from the side I'm stretching. Good. Keep drawing that chin in. And go ahead and release the arms and rest. Take note of which arm you are just stretching. In between sides, you're just going to do a flexion and extension of the arm. So all I mean from that is with a straight arm, I'm going to raise my arms in front of my body, up to overhead. Try not to lean back. And then I'm going to lower my hands down. Spread those fingers wide. If you can, reach behind you, squeezing those shoulders back. 3 to 4 more times. Breathing in, raising the arms up in front of the body, and then breathing out, pushing that air behind you. If you have armrests on your chair, it might be a little bit tricky, so just do the best you can. Raise up, push back. Couple more. Breathing in, reaching up, breathing out, pushing back. Final time. Super job. All right, let's balance out the upper body. We got to stretch that arm with the opposite arm. So chin in, still sitting tall. Reach that arm straight up towards the sky. Bending that elbow. Good. Really trying to protect that head and neck. Chin in as you reach around. Pulling that elbow back. And just sit as tall as you can initially. Try to feel the body breathe. Keep drawing that chin in towards your chest. Not like where you're looking down, but like you're trying to make a little double chin. Triple chin. And then if you want to add that side bend 2 or 3 times, bending to the side. It's one of those movements that it's a little bit harder than it may appear, especially if we're stiff in that mid body. And when you finish, go ahead and rest. Good. Let's loosen up the neck a little bit. Some gentle neck circles, circling the head down towards the chest, around and back. When you're ready, circle the other way. Fantastic. All right, if your energy's a little bit low today, you could have that be your session. If you still have a little bit of energy to work with me a bit more, we're going to do some midline work coming up next. If you have one of these nice long TheraBands, go ahead and have that available, as we're going to be utilizing that as well. We're all done with our weights though, so feel free to set those aside, take a little drink. And make your way to standing. All righty. As you come up to standing, we're going to do one more stretch before we get started, and that's going to be our side stretch. So I'm going to place my feet about hip width apart. I'm going to put one hand on my hip. The other hand's going to start at my shoulder. I'm going to bend towards that side, and then I'm going to reach up. If you can reach up to overhead, I'm going to reach across. I'm going to do that 3 times. Breathing in, bending towards that side. Breathing out. If you can peer up to that hand, turn that palm down towards you one more time. Breathing in, side bending. Breathing out, looking up, stretching that side body as you reach. And rest. Good job. Same thing other way. So one hand on the hip, hand to the shoulder, bending towards, and then bending away. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. So we're stretching this side body because we're about to work that side body, working a little bit of some side planks today from an elevated surface. And rest. And I'm going to move my screen a little bit. I want to show you off the wall And then I'll demo off the chair. So let me see if I can get this in a little bit better position. So we're going to work an elevated side plank where you're going to just come to a wall. I'm going to use the garage door here today. And you're simply going to place the hand against the wall. And then I'm going to walk my feet out. Really key here. I don't want to drop in. Let me take my long sleeve off again so you can see better. So I want to make sure I'm like pushing away. And now the lower this hand is, or the farther away my feet, the harder it's going to be. So go ahead and kind of come into position. Try to have that arm straight out. Reach that opposite arm out and away. We don't want these hips to drop down. We just want to feel this side body kind of engage a little bit. And we're going to hold for 30 seconds. Yeah, keep lifting the hips up. They'll want to start to sink down. Got my feet together. Eyes looking forward. Good job. Halfway through. Keep leaning into that wall. Keep drawing those hips up. And 3, 2, 1, come on off. So walk the feet in, coming off. And now if you have that long band, put it right underneath my computer. We're going to grab that long band. We're going to do our pull aparts in between arms. So what I mean by that, we're going to bring the hands together out in front of the body. And now we're going to imagine we're pulling them apart. So on this round, I've got the palms down and squeezing those shoulders back. Just a nice little opener for the mid back. Notice that my shoulders are back and broad. Sometimes people will start to roll their shoulders forward. So I don't want you to do that. Squeeze the shoulders back. Squeeze the glutes. Breathing in as you bring the hands together. Breathing out as you open. 2 to 3 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. In. Out. And last one. And take a pause. Alrighty. We're going to do the side plank on the opposite arm. Sorry for my less than desirable camera angles here, but I want to show it against the wall. So I'm going to keep my feet nice and close. Extend that arm out. And now I can just kind of inch my feet away from the wall. There you go. Leaning in here. And our 30 seconds starts now. So I'm just lifting my hips away, keeping my arms extended. Wonderful. Eyes up. Make sure those hips don't want to drop in. Halfway through. If the arm that's reaching out gets tired, you can also rest it on your hip. Keep squeezing the tush, lifting the hips. A couple more seconds in 3, 2, 1, and come on off. Excellent job. Stay there at the wall. Let me turn this even more sideways. We're going to do our wall stretch next. Sometimes we use the back of the chair for this also, but you can just place those hands right about shoulder height, walk the feet back, and then I'm going to lower my head between my arms, drawing that belly in towards the spine, soft bend in those knees, looking down towards the floor. Try to take about 3 nice deep breaths into the back of the rib cage and be coming out of that stretch a little bit on the inhale. And then on the exhale, you can lower that chest down a bit more. Breathing in, raising up, breathing out, leaning in. Good. One more breath. And walking on out. Awesome job. All right, I'm going to take that, my camera back or the computer back to where it normally sets. We're going to do that one more time through. And this time, instead of me demoing off the wall, I'm going to be utilizing my box here. But you're welcome to stay on the wall, especially if because the lower your hand is, the harder it's going to be. So I'm going to use the box and the chair. All right. So either making your way to the wall, or if I'm going to be lower, I might start with both hands forward and walk myself sideways. Lifting on up, and 2, 1, here we go. 30 seconds. Hand can either reach straight away or rest it on the hip. My straight arm, I don't want those hips sinking down, lifting up. If at any point you feel like you're going to give way, rest before that point. No breaking points here. 10 seconds to go. I'm feeling that burn in that downside hip, a little bit in the side of my abdomen, a little bit in my shoulder of that support arm, and then coming off of there. Woo! All right, we're going to go back to that long band. On this second time through, I would like you to go the supinated position for the pull apart. So you're going to turn your palms up. I've got that band resting right in the palms of my hand. Same thing from there. Arms reach out in front of the body. Make sure I'm not leaning back. Squeeze the tush, and then I open up through. Bring the little fingers together. Squeeze those shoulders back. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. So we're working to strengthen that mid back, open through the chest. All the while, seeing if I can kind of flex my thighs, squeeze the tush. Breathing in, arms up a little bit higher. There you go. And open, close, and open. Last one. And rest. Awesome job. All right, final side plank. So making your way back to the wall, or to demo on this position, I'm going to use my chair. So you can make your way to the wall. If you missed that first side, you can also do a 2-arm plank here. Walking the feet back, turning onto the side, and 2, 1, here we go. Reach and breathe. Good job. If that arm that's reaching out gets tired, you can rest it on your hip. Bring that hand to the hip. Good. And those hips are wanting to sink down. Keep raising on up. Almost there, about 5 more seconds. Just a gentle smile as you finish out here, and everybody rest. Woo, walk it out, walk it in. All right, that concludes both sides. When you finish here, let's just come into a little bit of some torso rotations. Nice. Try to turn that head and neck as well. Fantastic. And then from here, we're going to imagine we're going to make a snow angel from standing. So I'm going to bring my palms together in front of my hips. And now I'm going to have the palms facing forward. If you can raise those arms up to overhead, squeeze the tush a little bit into those knees. We're going to do that about 5 times. Bring the hands to the side, palms touch in front of the hips, and then open, circling up. Good. 3 more times. Breathing in as you reach up. Breathing out as you lower down. Twice more. Breathing in. Open the arms. Breathing out. Lower the arms. Awesome. Final time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Super. All right. If your water glass is nearby, grab a drink and then meet me in the chair for our final stretch. All right, we're going to finish with probably like 3 to 5 stretches. See how we're feeling here. The first thing we're going to do as we sit down is going to be our mid-back rotation. So as we were doing those overhead reach, if it was tough for you to reach up to overhead, this will be a really good exercise for you to get some good movement in that mid-back. So pick a side. You're going to bring that hand up, hand behind the head. And now you're going to draw this elbow back as much as you can. Breathing in, bring your elbow towards that opposite leg. And then as you breathe out, you can take your other arm, lightly push into the knee. And now I'm turning my head and neck, seeing how far I can look over that shoulder. Between about 5 times here. Breathing in, lowering down, sitting tall, breathing out on that rotation. Probably breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Couple more. It's really good practice also to pause when you're in that open position, looking over your shoulder. That's where you get the most out of this movement. As you draw that elbow back, turning the head and neck, getting that rotation through your rib cage. Alrighty. Before we jump to the other side, we're going to do our seated forward fold. So make sure you're right up on the edge of the, not on the edge of the chair so much, but on your sit bones. Draw that stomach in, hands on the thighs, and then bow that head down as you slide your hands towards the floor or towards your ankles. Just enough to get a moderate stretch in that low back. And then try to breathe nice and deep, 3 to 5 times. If you're going to get lightheaded though, please come up. Trying to expand the back of the body. And then when you're ready, gradually come back up to seated. Let's balance out the body with that mid-back rotations on the other side. So hand behind the head, draw that elbow back so you open up through the pec here. Opposite hands resting on the knee. Breathing in, bringing that elbow towards that opposite hand. Breathing out, pushing into that knee, turning your head and neck. Good, 3 to 5 times here. Breathing in, lower on down, sitting tall, breathing out. Pausing in that open position, over, up. Over. So as I look over my left shoulder, it kind of mimics when I'm driving in my car and I need to check my blind spot. Looking over that shoulder. Even if you don't drive, we still want to keep this ability to rotate, because when we get stiff in that mid back, what happens? Our neck and our upper spine and our low back, our lower spine has to compensate. So we want to keep that rib cage as mobile as we can. Once you finish that, go ahead and rest. And then set your feet maybe just a little bit wider. We're going to do our seated apple picking or our seated side stretch. So I'm going to reach across the body a little bit in front of my body, get a nice stretch, and then draw it back. So I can imagine I'm going to reach out, maybe grab a nice yummy apple and bring it back. Pretend I've got a little basket here in front of my chest. Just moving. Trying to lengthen our body, keeping ourselves nice and long, nice and open. And rest. All right, final stretch before our finishing breaths. And then walk those feet back in, sitting up nice and tall. And now I'm going to hold on to my seat in my chair. Take the opposite hand to the knee. And now I'm going to gently slide on down, bowing that head down, reaching towards the outer aspect of my shin, towards that ankle. And you kind of should feel that stretch like in the side of your back, side of your rib cage. When you're ready, come up out of that, and same thing, opposite side. So I'm going to hold on to the seat of that chair, kind of shimmy in my chair if I need to. And now I'm going to bring the hand over, bow the head down, slide that hand down, reaching for that outer ankle. And then breathe in that area that you feel the stretch. Keeping the lungs expanding, keeping your body mobile. When you're ready, sit up nice and tall. All right. Final breaths together. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. If you can reach up overhead, breathing in, raise those arms up to overhead, shrugging those shoulders up. And then as you breathe out, relax those shoulders down, open through the chest. Fantastic. Twice more. Let's breathe in some love. Breathe out all the worry and stress. Good. And final time, let's breathe in some peace for ourselves, for the world. Stretch up out of that chair and then breathe out all the tension, all the conflict. Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much. Give yourself a little round of applause. Clap in your hands. It's just one simple way to generate some energy. So anytime you need to move some energy, try to move your body. Maybe put on some good music. Because remember, at the end of the day, life is meant to be enjoyed. It's so easy to get caught up in all the stress and the worry. But try to do something that brings you a little joy. If you can listen for the birds, if you have some beautiful flowers around, just take those little moments. All right, friends, stay hydrated, stay happy. I'll see you next time.